Okay, welcome to this live. My name is Dr. Eric Aiken, and accompanying me is my colleague Derek Henderson. And in this live, there's a problem that we want to address. It is a global problem, but definitely in the United States right now, we've got a huge problem with metabolic illness. Over 88% of the population over the age of 40 is metabolically sick. This is why so many people are going on medicines. And so this is our promise to you in this webinar. Our promise, let me switch to the slideshow, is that we're going to show you how to achieve supreme health. By that, I mean normal body weight, normal blood pressure, optimal cholesterol profile, optimal metabolic flexibility, without feeling like you're giving something up. And so the one thing that you need to know is that the problem isn't your willpower or your genetics, it's insulin resistance. And if you solve this one problem, then you will solve all of the others. So stay until the end. We have something for you. You're going to get this free guide. It's the lab cheat sheet. And what it has in it, among other things, is the 5 most important labs for supreme health. And your PCP probably does not order these labs on you. It will show you how to interpret these labs for yourself, because even if your PCP did order these, they may not really understand the implications of them, but we'll show you how to do it for yourself. So I'm going to skip to this part here. Why listen to us? And so for myself, I'm a career neurosurgeon for 25 years. I grew up in a medical family. My dad, my uncle, both doctors. And I've just been around medicine my whole life. I've seen the trends. I see that things are going in the wrong direction. This is my dad here. And basically, I have been asked to participate in podcasts all over the world regarding metabolic health. And I'm actually a speaker at the collegiate level for courses in corporate wellness, and was recently a speaker at the 12th annual Quit Sugar Summit. Alongside Dr. Robert Lustig. And this is Derek Henderson. Derek, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and why you're here.
Thank you, Dr. Aiken. First of all, I'm here because of you. I've been a medical device salesman for the past 18 years. And one day I walked in to his office to bring him in his office lunch. And he asked me about metabolic syndrome, and I knew nothing about it. Prior to that, I was a professional athlete, professional baseball to be specific. And a lot of people think athletes are the epitome of health, and that is not true. We eat like crap. We party like crap. And it's one of those things to where you don't realize it until you're retired, which I did in 2004. And I started to have issues with cholesterol and testosterone. And so that day when I walked in to Dr. Aiken's office and he asked me about my issues with health, there we are. And here we come full circle.
Yes. And so the way that Derek and I met, Derek was a representative for a product that's a spinal implant. And because of that, he and I have seen a lot of the worst when it comes to metabolic health. When you end up on the operating table because of your metabolic health, you've really gone down the path pretty far. And so we're both very cognizant of where this leads to. And so just briefly, I want to just talk about, my last weekend. I take call in an emergency room somewhere every other weekend. Last weekend was in Mississippi. Mississippi has a very unhealthy population. And I think they have been number one in obesity and chronic health, chronic illness conditions in the nation for a number of years now. And I have to recalibrate my expectations of what is normal for Mississippi, because that's where I trained, for one. And you just don't quite see the level of illness anywhere else that you see there. And what I am seeing is people, but this is something that's not just unique to Mississippi. It happens in every single state in the United States every single day. I'm seeing people in their 40s and sometimes 30s having fatal strokes. And that's where they end up calling me. If your neurosurgeon is being called because you had a stroke, it's a bad stroke. It means that your brain you've lost so much brain in the stroke that it's causing swelling And we're going to need to open up your head to allow room for your brain to swell so that you don't expire because of that stroke. And so last weekend, no different than any of the other weekends, I saw 3 patients under the age of 60, one of them under the age of 50, who had all had strokes. They consulted me on these. These were bad strokes. Fortunately, they all survived, but their life is forever altered at this point. These people, when I'm talking to them and I'm telling them, look, they're asking me, am I going to be able to walk again? And they can't talk right, some of them, because it's affected the speech areas. And I'm telling them, this is life now. And it's news I always hate to deliver to someone, because I know that look I'm going to see on their face, that look that, oh no, I'm trapped. Like, this is it forever. This is how life is going to be. Swallowing is going to be difficult forever. Speech is going to be slurred. They may not be able to walk for the rest of their life, and they're just in their 40s. And it happens every weekend that I'm there. And so you don't want to be there, because I'm sure all 3 of those people thought to themselves, I really need to do something about this. I need to get ahead of my health. They knew it. They just let time run out. But you can if you act today and you do what we're about to show you, and you can change your whole life, and not just avoid disease, but you can make your life a whole lot happier as well as healthier by doing this. So imagine if you begin to do what we're about to tell you, and then you have to, in a few months, go to the department store to get new clothes that are smaller, or that you have to, or you go to your doctor, they get new labs on you. Your doctor comes out smiling, but feeling confused. And they ask you, what are you doing? Because you probably don't need several of these medicines anymore that you've been taking. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to keep doing it. Imagine that. It can happen, and it doesn't take forever. I mean, in a matter of a few weeks to a couple of months, these kind of things can happen to you. So I want to give you 3 secrets very quickly that you can begin to use and leverage to know that you can do this. You can make things change and happen with your health, and you can really add a lot of happiness to your life by doing this. So number 1 secret is, it is not your genetics that's got you where you are right now. If you're overweight, if your cholesterol is not the perfect, if you're type 2 diabetic, if you got high blood pressure, that's not just your genetics. Genetics are just about 10% of the equation. Here's my dad. This is my genetics. Here he is at 30. Here he is at 60. Now, he's obviously overweight. He's got high blood pressure in this. He's got cholesterol problems. He is a type 2 diabetic in this picture. That's the genetics I inherited. And yet at this point in time, right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm anti-diabetic. I've got normal labs all across the board, and I take 0 medications at 55 years old, just 5 years younger than Dad was in this picture. And by the way, he was a general surgeon, and so he knew the health. He knew the issues. He was the one that cut your leg off if you had vascular disease from diabetes. That was how he made his living. So here's the thing. Here's some questions you need to ask yourself. Ultra processed food. Are you eating it? Do you have insulin resistance? Do you even know? You don't have to have type 2 diabetes to be insulin resistant. A lot of people don't know that. That's what's in that lab cheat sheet that you will get when you stay to the end. It will show you how to figure out from your labs if you're insulin resistant. What about your environment? Are you optimizing that? Because a lot of what we do with our behavior around food is subconscious. Are you setting it up right? Are you taking care of the stress, getting enough sleep? Are you sedentary? Just taking a walk for 15 minutes after every meal, cut your risk for chronic disease in half. And then what medications are you on? Because some medicines, like statin drugs for cholesterol, can actually make you more prone to becoming diabetic. So I was headed in Dad's footsteps here, pre-diabetic, stage 1 hypertension, cholesterol problem. And when I discovered this system, because I really felt like I was at the mercy of nature, I thought, this is my genetics. This is just what's supposed to happen. Then I encountered this system that changed everything, and it will for you as well. Secret number 2, controlling your hunger is a matter of hormones. A lot of people feel like they're at the mercy of their hunger. Here's the thing. If you are insulin resistant, and this is why it's so important to know, it will make you hungry. And the hungrier you get, the more you eat, which makes you more insulin resistant. It's this vicious cycle. But if you can break out of the insulin resistance, you can control the hunger. So, a lot of people will tell you, throw your scales away. I think that's a really bad idea because feedback is the key to changing behavior. This is what we call a habit loop. A stimulus comes, like getting hungry. The behavior is you go eat some Oreo cookies and you get a reward. You're not hungry anymore. This feedback loop, though, if you throw your scale away, you don't really know, what you lose control of the situation, and you need the feedback to know if you're going in the right direction or not. So you can't really change the stimulus. Hunger is going to come every day. You can't change the reward, which is feeling not hungry, but you can change this behavior if you use the feedback, and the scale is part of that feedback. So this is Jackie Lackey. She used the feedback. She didn't throw her scale away, and she adopted this system that we're going to show you here shortly. And with that, she was able to lose over 160 pounds in a little over a year. Look at that. She doesn't even look like the same person. Use your scale. Secret number 3, being healthy saves more money than it costs. A lot of people think that they cannot afford to invest in their health, that healthy food costs too much. There was a Harvard study that showed that this is absolutely untrue, that you can invest in your health. And if you're getting some assistance from a natural supplement, which controls that appetite, it can actually be cost savings to you. So people with obesity earn on average, by the way, 5 to 15% less income. They're just paid less. It's not fair, but that's the way society is. Even overweight employers will pay an overweight employee less money. So you will have higher absenteeism and lower productivity if you have metabolic syndrome. You'll pay higher insurance premiums, more out-of-pocket costs for labs, doctor visits, and medications, and more frequent ER visits or urgent care if you don't tend to this. It will raise your risk for long-term disability up to 90%. So definitely something that you want to take care of before you're like any one of these people that I see every other weekend who is definitely permanently disabled at that point. Women lose 5 to 11 years in terms of if they become disabled. Women lose more time than men do. Men lose about 4 to 8.7 years. So now I'm going to let Derek tell you about this system that we've adopted that makes adhering to a healthier way of eating and a healthier lifestyle a whole lot easier.
Awesome explanation of that, Dr. Aiken. Yes, the Feel Great system. It is not the end all be all, but it is a perfect tool, especially for someone like me who is an athlete, who's been on hundreds and hundreds of supplements that can help you get your metabolic health right. Obviously, me being dumb, not knowing about metabolic health, I didn't know anything about fasting, nor did I know anything about fiber. And that's what this system is about. It's an insulin lowering protocol. Dr. Aiken talked about losing weight. He talked about diabetes. He talked about cholesterol. He talked about high blood pressure. These are not medications for this. This goes to the root cause of what causes it, and fasting does that. Intermittent fasting does not mean to starve yourself. What you're going to do is skip a meal. When you skip a meal, you give your pancreas a break from producing insulin. The Unimate that's in here that you see there in the yellow helps you do that. It gets rid of food noise. And then when you have your first meal in the afternoon, you take another Unimate, basically skipping snacking. People don't realize that snacking is also considered, quote unquote, a meal, right? And so when you do that, you're giving your pancreas a break from producing insulin. And then at night, your heaviest, usually is most people's heaviest meal at night, you're going to take this special patented balance, fiber called Balance, which helps to coat your gut and prevent glucose spikes, okay? So the big thing about the chlorogenic acid that's in the Unimate, this is a tool to help you forget about food. It increases GLP-1 by 60%. You see these commercials of Mounjaro, Wegovy, Ozempic. You can do this naturally with this chlorogenic acid that's in this tea. It increases ketones. As an athlete, I always wanted to be in ketosis. That's when your body is burning fat for fuel. This does that naturally. Okay. And then what it as you see, it lowers inflammation, which is a product of insulin resistance. It protects your kidneys with which also filters the body of toxins. The balance. This balance is an amazing product. Again, 70% of our diet, as Dr. Akins spoke about earlier, is made up of ultra processed foods, which is non-whole foods. Okay. The balance is something that we can interject when we eat, even if we don't eat perfect. And I'm one of them. If I want to eat a piece of pizza, I take this for that. And this is what it does. It lowers cholesterol. I'm an example of that. I lowered my triglycerides from 111 to 72. Lowers blood glucose, which means it coats your gut with it, and it prevents glucose spikes. It improves gut health because of the soluble fiber. It helps with bowel movements. Most people don't have those daily. It improves satiety, which means you don't overeat. That's the biggest problem with us. We eat so many high sugar and carbs that it makes us want more. And again, it goes back to lowering inflammation, which is part of insulin resistance.
All right. So this product is actually, both of them are listed in the PDR, which is a guide. It's called the Physician's Desk Reference. We look up drugs in the PDR. You don't get in the PDR unless you have very credible research behind the product. And this is the only company that has two nutraceuticals in the PDR listed that are both for metabolic syndrome, for reversing type 2 diabetes, for helping with cholesterol, and all of that, the rest that goes with metabolic syndrome, like high blood pressure and being overweight. So, and by the way, one of these products, Balance, has been studied by the #1 heart hospital in the United States, and they deemed it basically an alternative to a cholesterol medication, or it could be at least something that could lower your dose requirement of a cholesterol medicine. So we have a special offer for you today. I'm going to give you something with your subscription to the Feel Great system. If you subscribe today, and this is going to be posted somewhere, either on my Facebook, on Derek's Facebook page, which Derek is an excellent coach. And I mean, he coached me through using a spinal cord stimulator implant multiple times. He is a fantastic teacher. And below this in the caption will be a link to where you can get this system. But with your subscription today, you're going to get the lab cheat sheet. That's, the list of labs that you need to know if you're getting metabolically healthy or not. Many of these your doctor does not routinely or ever order on you. Second, you're going to get the metabolic reset protocol. This is an eating framework that will help you. If you use that in conjunction with the Feel Great system, your body's not going to have any choice but to get healthier, to let go of the excess fat, to correct the cholesterol profile, to lower your risk for heart attack and stroke and cancer and a lot of other things, dementia, erectile dysfunction, polycystic ovarian syndrome, you name it. Next, you're going to get the apps and wearable technology guide. This is a curated list, a select list of apps and health-related apps and wearable technology that I think are worth your time and your money. So you'll get all three of these guides absolutely free with your subscription today with this Feel Great system. Not with a one-time purchase, though, only with the subscription. And again, it's very easy to stop your subscription. You actually pay less to subscribe than if you do a one-time purchase. So this is definitely worth your time, and it's easy to stop the subscription if you don't want any more. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm also going to give you 3 coaching calls, and Derek and I together can coach you in this effort to make sure you get the results that you want. We really want you to achieve your goals. You're going to get a 30% permanent discount on your subscription with this link, with Derek's link, and you're going to get a 90-day money-back guarantee. That means you can try this for a quarter of the year and still get your money back. Now that's something you're not going to get with any medication out there. So again, you get the Feel Great system subscription, you'll get the 3 guides, you're going to get the coaching calls, You get a permanent 30% discount. You're going to get a 90-day money back guarantee, all with your subscription. And if you don't like it, you get your money back. You get to keep the guides, and you'll have already had the coaching. So it's a win-win-win. And it will help you to hedge your risk against all of these potential all of these different health problems. This one being the biggie, heart disease, which is the #1 killer of people, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, kidney disease, strokes, and a whole lot of others. So what's more expensive, $5 a day or thousands in healthcare premiums, medications, missed income, lower wages, and just plain feeling bad? Sorry about that. So it only takes 30 seconds a day. And I want to just show you a few of the results that we've had here. A number of people, every time when people come on this system and they just do what we're telling them, these are the results. Over and over. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, your activity level, none of that. Over and over, people start becoming metabolically healthy. Look at this transformation. It's rather dramatic. This gentleman here was a diabetic for 27 years, no longer a diabetic anymore. This gentleman here weighed almost 1/4 of a ton. He's lost over 120 pounds in 9 months. He was on 24 medications when he started this system. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the room when he was on 23 medicines and his doctor was saying, you know what? I think we need to add one more. Now, before he's even lost all the weight, he's down to 3 medications only. That's what this tells you. These medicines are not going to save you. And if you start doing the right thing, you don't need the medicines. How did he go from 24 meds to 3, soon to be none? It's this system plus the right diet together, which makes it very easy to do the diet. So imagine you getting to go to your doctor in a few weeks and your doctor comes out smiling at you saying, you know, what are you doing? Whatever you're doing, just keep doing that. Or having to go buy those new clothes. Your friends asking you, what are you doing? You know, you look fantastic. You can do this. You go into Derek's profile, ignore my profile here. Go into Derek's profile, click the link, subscribe to the system today. We're going to be in touch with you. Now, if you don't want us if you don't want to talk to us, that's fine. All you got to do is say so. You're not going to hurt our feelings, but we're going to develop a relationship with you, find out exactly what you want, give you a tailored plan, and show you the best and highest use of this system. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gotten, a little enlightenment out of this, and we really hope to see your name come up on our list. I'm ready to sign out. You ready? You got anything left, Derek?
No, thank you. You hit all the good points.
All right. Have a good one.